This is episode 248 of the Super League Pod. This is the episode affected in equal measures by the Western Terrace flu and Storm Kira. And whilst Mark picks out what he remembers from a weekend in and out of consciousness, you'll hear that a lot, Scoots finds a new target in Super League. And this one may surprise you. Although there's fewer games, there's still plenty of your fan reviews. Plus we explore some alternative facts, and we take some trips down memory lane, finding out just how many years a big match loss can haunt a man for. Get strapped in and brace yourselves. There's another storm coming. It's SLP time. Hello, listeners. Welcome along to a delayed episode 248 of the Super League Pod. You have myself, and I may sound croaky this week, Mark, the Wigan fan, and also we have, for the first time solo this year, Sarah Scoots McKenzie, the Hull FC fan. Sarah, welcome along.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah, I'm sure you feel great to be back after winning the derby this week. So you'll be adding the joy, whilst I'm adding the groans, I think.
Yeah, probably.
This week. If it sounds like my end goes mute every now and again, dear listeners, it's because I'm coughing. I'm still not quite recovered from my Western Terrace flu that I picked up in round one. So, yeah, I'm doing my best to power through the show. Before we tell you what's coming up on this week's show, Sarah, do you want to tell the dear listeners, I don't know why I've started saying that, that's the second time I've said it.
Yeah.
What's that about? But anyway, do you want to tell the listeners who the episode sponsor is?
Yeah. So tonight's show is sponsored by Rob's Toy Shop. You can find a wide range of toys, gifts, rugby league birthday cards and more at Rob's Toy Shop on eBay. Visit stores.ebay.co.uk/Rob's Toy Shop, and on any orders over £5 you can earn 5% cash back, and also 1% of your order value will go to the SLP coffers if you put SLP discount at checkout.
Excellent stuff. Thanks for your continued support, Rob's Toy Shop. So yeah, we've got a bit of a reduced show this week, obviously, thanks in part to there being really little news of note, actually, which is a nice change to the week before.
We'll wait for that tomorrow.
Well, yeah, potentially, but I'm comfortable with that this week, Sarah. And
yeah.
Also, with quite a lot of games being called off too due to Storm. How are we pronouncing this? Kira? Yeah, that one. Apparently Dennis is coming in at the weekend too, so yeah. We might see some more cancellations, but we'll that'll just make our guesses look better when they can't come wrong. We've got loads of fan views though on the games that did go ahead, so they've still got lots to get through. We're going to start with a listener question. Do you want to tell the listeners what Fatboy Rob asked us?
Yeah, so Fatboy Rob, with his delusions of cast grandeur, said 9 out of the 70 Castleford players made 100 plus metres in round one. Is that a record? Yeah,
so I started trawling through the spreadsheets that I have dating back to when our show started in 2014, Sarah, and I got to sort of midway through that season and found 2 or 3 10 out of 17s, and then there was a Leeds performance against Bradford, I think it was, where they had, I think I wrote it down here, yeah, Leeds versus Bradford in round 9 of that year, that they had 11 of that 17 in 2014, and I just thought, well, I'm not sitting here scrolling through the rest. It's clearly not a record.
Yeah, it's nothing to get excited about, Rob.
No, but it's still impressive, but it's certainly not exceptional.
No. We've got a couple of shout-outs as well to Andrew Steele and Lee Whitnell for making donations. Thank you very much for those. They're all gratefully received towards the show costs.
Yes, and actually, Andrew, I need to remember when I'm feeling better to get in touch with you, or you can get in touch with us to let us know if we have ever sent you a hat or a T-shirt before, because if not, we can make sure one gets on its way to you. If we have a T-shirt in your size, or if you're happy to have a hat instead, then please do let us know, get in touch. But thank you guys for your donations. I suppose the other thing to talk about in the opening of the show, as is tradition when you're on, Sarah, is find out about our good friends, the Mighton Warriors Juniors. So what age group is Joshua in now at Mighton?
So they're just starting the under-11 season this year. So this is the first year of 13 aside on the pitch. And a lot of rules, so a lot of the proper rules. They had a friendly against the under-13s where Joshua actually scored a try.
Wow,
I think he was just running away from the big player.
Well,
and ended up over the try line. But
there's a lot of good halfbacks who scored plenty of points by just trying to get away from the big fella. I'm sure if our friend Barry's listening, he'll know that that's happened a lot of times to him.
Yeah, and then they had a friendly on Saturday against Wyke at their age range. They didn't win. They played really, really well, and they came very close. Unfortunately, they had a period of time when they were down to 12 men because one of the players decided it was time for him to come off, but hadn't told the coach he was coming off, so therefore nobody else was put back on.
What? So the player just walked off the pitch?
Yeah, without anybody noticing. It took the opponent's coach to point it out.
That was going to make me cough. That one is funny.
Sorry. But the full season starts on the 1st of March. They've got another couple of friendlies before then.
Oh, well, that's exciting anyway.
Yeah.
So kind of almost full rules now for Joshua to argue with the referees about, politely, we hope.
Very polite, yeah. There were no 40-20s there. He did check that one.
I love the confidence.
Yeah.
You've got to love the confidence of the kid. I mean, let's face it, he comes up to most normal adults' waist. He's still a little lad. And he's thinking he's hoofing a 40-20.
Good start, you mean to go on.
Legend. Right. From that, we will now... we need a little bit of time to recover from that. That's amazing. So we're going to move on now to the news from around the world of rugby league.
So first in our news section, we've got that Warrington Wolves fullback Stephen Ratchford has signed a new deal until the end of the 2022 campaign. The England international, who's 31, joined Wire from Salford in 2012, helping them lift the Challenge Cup twice, including last time when they defeated St Helens. Ratchford has played more than 230 games for the club. Yeah,
and as with any big news story, Tom Andrews got in touch. He said, always been a fan, consistently a top 5 fullback who's decent cover elsewhere. Well, he's showing that so far this season where he's playing in the half, isn't he? But I guess it's starting to look like he's going to see all of his best playing days out whilst he's a Warrington Wolf. And
well, that'll take him to 10 years, won't it?
Oh, will it? Right, yeah, of course. So, yeah, good point, which I guess he'd be a player who deserves a debut there. I mean, is the kind of player who, when he first moved there, played anywhere that they would put him, didn't he? I think he was behind Brett Hodgson, wasn't he, at fullback when he first joined?
Probably
joined Warrington, and so he played a lot in the centres, played a bit at 6, played a bit at.
He played anywhere, didn't he? Really?
Yeah. So he really put the hard yards in, and then since he became the mainstay at fullback, has been one of their most consistent players. I know you at Hull don't particularly like him for turning up in the Challenge Cup semi-final.
I said at the time, didn't I, that he would play against us, and if he played, he would be the difference.
Yeah.
I think that probably goes to show what my opinion of him is.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the way that their club went about him playing, but that's another matter.
Yeah. Well, good luck to Stephen Ratchford continuing his career at Warrington. Toronto have announced a new dual registration. This is how little a news week it is. We're talking about dual registration deals in that news item too.
Yeah.
Toronto have announced a new dual registration agreement with League One side Rochdale that will see player movement between the two clubs in 2020. Toronto have announced that the new partnership will also see the teams work together off the field, including a new unique player pathway at Hopwood Hall College, where the two teams train.
Yeah.
I don't know what Rochdale are going to get out of it in terms of players, because Toronto don't have any to share. as it
No,
stands.
it looks like it might be one-way sharing, doesn't it?
But certainly they're getting to share facilities already with a Super League outfit with some star names in it. You know, when you've got people like Sonny Bill Williams, Ricky Latelli, and even people like John Wilkin, even though he's a fake news merchant now, and people like that. You've got.
It's going to be good for player development, isn't it?
Exactly, and it gives Toronto now a pathway to bring players through, which they've been talking a lot about them not having, because it's really hard to develop the Canadian players when you can't necessarily get them visas to play, which is going to be one of these weird things that they have to sort out with this extra 2 players dispensation they've had, but we'll see how that goes.
Yep, so Batley have announced the signing of Niall Flynn for the 2020 Championship. Flynn appeared for Coventry, Hunslet and Dewsbury in 2019 and has signed a 1-year deal with Batley for 2020.
I've never heard of him. I'm sure if Tim was here he could have given us some more insight, but good luck to him. Oldham have signed Titus Guarze on a 1-month loan from Wakefield. Guarze, who made his Super League debut last year, links up with Matt Diskin's side, having spent time on loan with the Ruffians last year, making 14 appearances.
Yep. Former League coach Neil Dukes has returned to the club in an off-field role following the resignation of Chief Executive Matthew Chandler. Dukes had a stint as head coach of the Centurions between 2016 and 2018. He returns to the club in the role of general manager on a short-term deal. Chandler has resigned his role from Lee chief executive due to personal reasons, and he is facilitating a handover of club affairs from home.
Yeah, so obviously to Matthew Chandler, whatever's caused his circumstances, we wish the best to him, and it just means that Lee can keep putting the band back together, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think it's a good thing in a lot of ways having a rugby head as chief exec.
Well, most clubs now seem to be operating that model, don't they? Which maybe certainly you look across the board. I mean, Gary Hetherington played the game, not to the greatest of levels really in the end, but he did. You look at Warrington with what's his face, Fitzpatrick. You look at Salford with Blease. You look at Wigan with Radlinski. They have Mike Rush, don't they, at St Helens? So, does Pearson act as both at your club, or does he have someone else with him?
James Rule is, and I don't think he's ever played rugby.
Not James Rule.
Not James Rule, sorry, James Clark, sorry.
Oof, I just thought your club was going to go and blow up again. Anyway.
It really did. Sorry. Wrong name.
Yeah.
Let's move on quickly.
Yes. We don't want to talk about James Rule anymore, do we? Doncaster have announced the signings of Ben Howe and Alex Holdstock for the 2020 League One campaign. The pair have impressed on trial at the club throughout pre-season, having both played against Sheffield and Wakefield reserves.
West Wales have announced 9 additions to the squad ahead of the League One 2020 campaign.
Oh, I'm glad you got this one, not me.
Welsh international Morgan Evans has signed a new deal for the club for the upcoming season, while Phil Cowburn has also re-signed for 2020. David Phillips and Alan Perk both return to the side. Army duo Emercy Naduable and Robert Matamercy have both penned new deals for the upcoming League One campaign. Wales under-16s and under-19s Commonwealth bronze winner medals Dan Maiden and Harry Boots have both re-signed with the club for the 2020 League One season, whilst Ryan Shalish has also joined the club.
In some women's rugby league news, Halifax have been promoted to the Women's Championship for the 2020 season. The Rugby Football League invited the club to join the Championship after they appeared in the Championship 1 playoffs last year. So obviously they've moved more teams up to the Super League, so they're filling the Championship back up, and let's wish Halifax all the best in that division.
Yeah.
Is that where Hull FC sit now?
Yeah.
The Championship?
Yeah, I think so. And shall we do in the news tonight that Chris Satai's suspension's been reduced to 2 matches?
I thought, well, I mean, you're so excited about it. I thought we could talk about it in the when we review the game, but
okay, we won't mention that. We'll just go on to and finally, John Bateman could miss the start of the NRL season after undergoing shoulder surgery.